Jon Shefsky here, and welcome to Fantasy House, the world's #1 make-believe real estate podcast. I love doing this show because every week we get to go on a guided tour through a different person's imaginary dream home. They're always pushing the limits with mind-blowing houses. There's weird technologies, there's magic, there's unique rooms and appliances, and just good old-fashioned creativity and silliness. In Nathan Hurd's episode, his house has a zero-gravity room. So you just go in the room, flip a switch, and bam, you're floating around. So cool. Jade Catapretta, she's got a lazy river with sexualized dolphins. You'll have to listen to her episode if you want to find out more about that. Fifi Dosh has a private hot tub on top of a private mountain in her backyard. John and Tom from Chad Goes Deep, their fantasy house is a cloud that they can take anywhere, like an RV in the sky. Nick the plumber has a live studio audience. So when he's with his family and he drops the punchline to one of his dad jokes, he gets a real applause. My homegirl Joelberg Jimenez. Oh, Joel loves to cook, but he hates to clean up. So his kitchen washes itself from top to bottom. Genius. In episode 94, Mike Ishak's kitchen is just a portal to his aunt's Indonesian kitchen, so he can have a ringdang anytime he wants. Ringdang. I'll tell you what, if it's half as delicious as it is fun to say, ringdang. Ringdang. Jeremiah Watkins' Halloween episode, he had a bathroom with a mummy toilet paper dispenser. So when it was time to wipe, you just unwrap the mummy. Nat Baymel doesn't even have a bathroom in his fantasy house. He simply has a wizard that appears anytime you need to go, and the wizard just makes your bowel empty. Makes your poop disappear. Poof. Actually, it's more like poop poof. Fantasy House Podcast is NSFW. It's not safe for work. Although we're very Mr. Rogers creatively, it's more of an adult Mr. Rogers. So it's raw, it's honest. We talk about sex, drugs, people's bathroom habits, and sometimes people take us to dark places. We're all about authenticity, and my goal with the show is to reignite that carefree, playful spirit that many of us had when we were 4 and 5 years old. You know, just that fearless exploring of our imaginations and ourselves. And I'm super, super excited for you to come along on this journey with us. Every episode is brought to you by me, Jon Shefsky. I am your local Southern California realtor. Not just a fantasy realtor. No, a really real realtor. And I would love to help you with anything real estate related, whether you're thinking about buying a house, selling a house, maybe you're interested in why I love multifamily apartment buildings, any of that. I would love to be of service. And if you're thinking, Jon, I don't care about real estate at all, that's great. But I know you know someone who does. And you got to let them know. You got to say, hey, before you go making any moves, you got to talk to my boy, Jon Shefsky. He's a really real realtor, and he would love to be of service. And I really would. And even if you're not in SoCal, I can still help you because I have a referral network all over the country with some fantastic agents, and it's growing all the time. So check in with me. Let me know, because I got agents in Nashville, in Chattanooga, Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, Phoenix, Arizona. Like, I got you covered. And like I said, that list is just growing. So just think of me when you're thinking of real estate. Be like, I'm going to hit Shefsky up before I do anything. Just send me an email, fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to be of service or help in any way. My guest today is a dear friend that we've been friends for decades. He's a war veteran. He's a tattoo artist. He's studying to be an art teacher. And he's just an all-around just great human being. In fact, he was kind of the way I got into tattooing was he was learning how to tattoo in his house. And I was like, I want to learn how to tattoo. And I knew nothing about tattoos. I was like, I want to use one of those little tattoo machines. Oh my God, it looks so much fun. And he was about to be deployed to Iraq. And he was like, dude, I got to leave. I'm about to go to war. Here's keys to my house. This is how cool this dude was. You can tattoo in my room. You can use all my equipment and bring our friends in and tattoo them. So I learned how to tattoo by myself in his bedroom, tattooed a heart on my leg and tattooed a bunch of stuff all over all of our friends. What an amazing time provided by an amazing guy. Holy shit. My guest today is Gabe Munoz. So exciting. Now, in the words of the great Angelo Bowers, let us do this.
Have you gotten tattooed in a while?
It's been years, man. It's been years. The last thing I think I had worked on was the grime thing on my arm, my shark.
Uh-huh.
I think that was the last thing, and that was like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I wanted to get tattooed a couple of years back, but I really wanted to get a nutsack on my, like, the lower part of my leg that said chutzpah, which is like Hebrew for having heart, but it's also like slang for like the balls on that, man, you know?
Balls, man, yeah.
And I thought like a really like realistic, like Bob Terrell style, like really smooth gray shading, like nutsack would just be super rad on there.
Realistic nutsack. All right, I like that.
But I don't know. Also, I love. There's a Super Sucker song, "Born with a Tail," and I thought it'd be really cute to have like a super traditional. You remember the little Jew egg you did on me, the little Borat? We did them on each other, right? A long time ago, like a drunken late night. Just so our listeners know, Gabe and I on a drunken late night decades ago during my tattoo life, and Gabe and I were drinking, and we're like, "What?"
Adam was there too.
Adam and one of my best friends, Adam Flemmenbaum, was there too. He was on an episode of Fantasy House too. We opened up the tattoo shop like late night after drinking in Fullerton. Like went back to the shop, opened up, and tattooed little Jew eggs from Borat on each other. Oh, dude, such a great tattoo. It's one of my it's one of the favorite like just like weird experiences.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I need to do some more of that. But yeah, a little tiny little devil's tail, like traditional on my back, like tramp stamp, I thought would be super hilarious. Like I was born with a tail. But I don't know. What would you be doing if you weren't tattooing? What's the next best thing?
Surfing and fishing more, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I asked myself, dude, like
that's a great answer though, Gabe. Surfing and fishing more at the same time. I'm just joking.
Right, that would actually, if I could. I've seen a couple of guys out in like their longboard or
the paddleboard. Yeah. I imagine you like on a wave though, like I got a big one.
Right. Towed him in, dude.
Yeah.
Sea turtle.
Did you say a sea turtle? You piece of shit. You don't eat turtles in my neighborhood, buddy.
Well, in my fantasy house, John, they're a delicacy. All right.
Sea turtles.
Sea turtles.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm finishing up my bachelor's right now. I'm going to hopefully get into the teaching credential program and become an art teacher as well. So
I love that.
That's the goal. That's the plan, at least for the next year or two. So I guess if I wasn't tattooing, that's honestly what I'd probably be doing, teaching.
That's beautiful. And I'm so glad to know that that's like the if is actually becoming the reality. Like you're working on that.
Well, dude, you know how that like industry is. It's like you have a shelf life. 5 years, 10 years, 25 years. You know, you don't really know. Just nobody tattoos forever. And
that's a great tattoo to have across your chest or by a carpal tunnel scar.
Yeah.
Can't handle it forever.
So, but you know, with that in mind, you know, that's kind of where, all right, well, let's start thinking about the future. Let's start thinking about, you know, what's enjoyable, what's something you enjoyed really doing on a day-to-day basis that one helps people. I think that maybe that's another go back to the problem solving. Like what are the problems that you see in the world? Well, kids need some good teaching, right? Like I feel like I'm not a terrible dude. Maybe I could teach them something.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, I think that there's a lot to be invested in the youth. I mean, you have kids, you know that, like, man, I want these little fuckers to be awesome, right? So
that is your motivational board that needs to go up somewhere. I would love to see that printed. I want these little fuckers to be awesome. Because that is just such a good sum up, dude. What you're talking about right now is just like the same feeling that when I really sat down and tried to narrow down, like, what do I want? What makes me happy? It's like being of service and not just being so selfless that you're like miserable and not making a good living. And you're like, oh, I'm of service, but I'm not even being good to myself, like balancing it. But like such a huge part, even if you or I had $1 billion or a magic ATM machine, you'd still want to find a way to be like, how can I be of service? Totally. How can I make someone smile and then be their golden retriever that gets patted on the head? That's right. Like I want to be that. Like I want to be the golden retriever. They're like, good boy. I'm like, good boy. Like,
right.
It's natural. I think, I mean, in a healthy life.
I think so. I think we as humans, we enjoy knowing that we did something right, or if we did something cool for somebody else, that they're like, hey man, thank you. And you're like, yeah, no problem, dude. You know? But I mean, it looks different for everybody too, you know? And I think that's the cool part, especially in the tattoo industry, you know, right? You meet so many different walks of life.
Yeah.
And just getting to like get a 10-minute, 15-minute conversation sometimes with people and like, hey, what's your world look like? And, you know, getting to know like a little bit of what people do or what, you know, makes them tick is, I mean, it's cool. It's a total inspiration as well. So
I absolutely love that about tattoo artists and hairstylists specifically. We have that connection with clients where it's such a blessing. It is so awesome. Not only do you get like immediate gratification, right? Of like, they're stoked on something you did for them. There's not a lot of fluff in the background. Like they're right in front of you. They're like, oh, thank you for cutting my hair. Oh, thank you for this awesome tattoo. And I think that's one of the things even that drove me towards real estate too, is like that connection with your clients is fucking rad. Right.
And I was going to say, like, you probably, I mean, let's face it, you got to know their income, get real intimate with like, okay, what are your goals? Where are you guys at? Right. Like you have to give up some really personal information, I'm assuming, right?
For real estate? Yeah. I'm talking for tattoo. You got to know their income too. Can you afford what I'm about to do on your back, buddy? Because this is not a 2-session piece. You got to talk to my loan guy.
Right. I've got a good.
You have a tattoo lender, Gabe. You're like, oh, my lender is fantastic. You got to talk to me. I'll help you figure out a good payment plan for this.
Even though we're talking about tattooing, I think those are the same things that you're probably dealing with in real estate. You get that kind of the intimate closeness with your customers and your the people you get to sell for, right? You know what I mean? That's like a huge trust thing. So,
yep. It's great though. I think that's probably the secret. There's two things. I was talking to my friend Zoe about this when we were both kind of in some career upheaval a few years ago. I was like, oh, what makes me happy? Like to be of service, to be compensated properly, and to have creative freedom. And if you don't have those three things in a job, I just can't do it. But that was something that she was realizing too. It was like, oh, like I'm getting this part and this part, but they're not all meeting in the Venn diagram with being creative freedom. And like you have that in tattooing especially with your good clients that trust you and that like are, hey, like draw this up for me, do this for me, or what do you think I should put here? It's like, right? It brings a lot of joy to have that.
Yeah, and I think that's when you realize you're that like a creative, and I say that like in many different arts, right? Like,
yeah,
you could be doing food, like you said your friend was. You could be doing design and whatever else, you know. So there's a lot of creative outlets for people out there, which is cool. You know, sometimes you feel like people don't, they're almost blind to it. You know, they don't see it for that when really that's what it is. So yeah, when you have all those things that kind of line up, I think it's just like, take it and run with it, you know?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Take it and run with it. And also like in selecting like, oh, why am I not happy here? Like ask yourself, like, am I getting to be of service? Am I being compensated properly to where I'm being of service, but also like not being a miserable, underpaid person?
Right.
And do I get creative freedom? Like those three things, I think if you ask yourself that, you're like, if those things aren't aligned, it doesn't mean like quit your job tomorrow and just do whatever you got to do to get your next job. But it's like, start figuring out what the next step is and have those written down when you're looking at like, what can I do that offers me those things, that takes my skills and puts me in a position to do that? I don't know.
And I think that it takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit, because if you're already doing something, you're going, oh shit, okay, I got to find something that is going to work. I don't know what that looks like though, you know, the unknown.
What was the last time you were taken out of your comfort zone? What happened?
I mean, even just deciding to say, maybe I'll go for this teaching credential, you know, that's the thing. It's, especially with the whole pandemic, and I'm watching, you know, teachers trying to teach kids on Zoom.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, is this what future of teaching is looking like? I'm like, fuck, man. Is this what I really want to do?
Is it be a Zoom professor?
Zoom professor? Yeah. Like, I don't know about that. But
I don't think it's permanent, dude. I think you'll be teaching in person.
No, I know. And, you know, just thinking about that, it really challenges you, because you're like, well, I'm comfortable right now, like in what I'm doing, but you know, is it really, are you growing in that? You know what I mean? There's a whole lot of stepping out of my comfort zone and just like willing to be in college or school again to learn shit from, a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds around you going, what the fuck am I doing? I'm an old man in college, but, it's beneficial either way. I think that's what we talk about, that getting rid of that ego a little bit and just kind of being just willing to learn and grow. So,
well, kudos to you, dog, for having the courage to do that.
Right. It helps that I don't have kids, one. So my hat goes off to you. I have all my friends that have kids. I don't know how you guys do it. You guys are like the real inspiration, because I'm like, dude, if they can do all this shit, I can definitely go to school and work.
I mean, that's how I feel about anybody that has like a hard physical job or something scary where like lives are depending on it. I'm like, if doctors can handle that shit, if military and first responders can handle that shit, if you know what I mean, like the stuff that they go through,
I know.
I'm like, then I gotta just be able to buck up and be like, I can handle this. I'll figure this out.
It makes me like go, okay, I need to not complain. I need to just nut up a little bit.
Nut up, dude, or ovary up. Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't have the same ring as nut up, but
it doesn't. But you get it.
Yeah, we get it, ladies. You get it. Ovary up.
Yeah, I know. I'm not very PC sometimes, but I know this podcast isn't either. So that.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't believe in like any kind of like PC or whatever. I just you just go with your gut and you're like, well, of course I want to say ovary up too. I'm not doing it for PC points. Anytime that South Park makes fun of a character, it should be a good lesson of like, that's probably the dipshit character to be. So PC principal, that's more like the dipshit character than the noble, deep thinking, wonderful contribution to society character. Right. So no, we believe in free speech here and just being good by our own fucking internal primal, what do you call it? Primal judgment system or whatever Richard Dawkins would call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
The chimpanzee. He has morals and he doesn't read the Torah.
Does it?
All right. So, all right, dude. Let's go on a guided tour through your fantasy house. Where is the geographic location, baby?
Oh, man, here we are. We're going to talk about. Well, we know. I gotta love like Hawaii, the South Pacific Islands. So we're making our own island as a house.
Yeah.
In the middle of the ocean. Probably with volcanoes too, just like those places. Because it doesn't love natural geography as a thing to come admire, right? At a house especially. So
yeah,
we're starting off as an island here. So
super rad.
Right?
All right. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
But I imagine it kind of just everybody who comes to visit, you're coming up on old pirate ships. You know what I mean? You can fly too. You know what I mean? But
we can just fly on the island. Like we can just fly as people.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'll take it. That sounds good to me.
Right, but it's almost like what is it? Neverland.
Neverland. Oh yeah, pirate ships and flying around an island. Yes.
Who doesn't like that?
Dude, I still get butterflies in my stomach just thinking about like watching Peter Pan when I was a kid, the movie, the cartoon, watching Hook, and then going to Disneyland and sitting flying over the city.
Oh, the ride, yeah.
Dude, like I some of my favorite memories in life. How weird, but yeah, totally. Okay,
it's funny how that idea kind of travels with you, or keeps with you. I definitely always would love to fly. Who wouldn't want to fly, right?
Oh, dude, totally. I
see it as like, this grand entrance into the island house, right? You kind of get to come up and enjoy the view, the waves, however you want it, the sky view. Real green. I don't know if you've have you been to Hawaii?
Sadly, no, but I will get there at some point because
we can take a Google tour of it. It's beautiful.
I don't want to take a Google tour. I want to take a 3D real tour.
I know you've seen Jurassic Park, so
yeah, that's Costa Rica, I believe.
Well, okay, like Costa Rica and Hawaii. Then
I want to go there too.
You're kind of getting. I've never been there, so yeah, maybe one day.
Okay, so what's if we're flying the orange drone around and we're looking at is there an actual house on this island?
It's built into the side of the hill, right?
Very nice.
We're going fully green here. I think we're getting all our hydroelectricity from the volcano.
Yeah.
Right? The thermal vents really power all the steam turbines type of thing. So we're very self-sustaining on our island. We're proud of that, right?
Hell yeah.
And it's not just it's not just me or my family. We have an open community there. So we got little villages all around the island too. It's not just my main house. They can stay in like my little guest villages, right?
Yeah.
Out over the water. The dream vacation that everybody wants, right?
Your fantasy house is the dream vacation that everyone wants, dude.
What is that? Bora Bora or stuff like that?
Tahiti's a big one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not that I've ever been, but this is my podcast, my fantasy house.
It's your podcast? This is a takeover, folks. Okay. This is my buddy Gabe. Like, okay, it's your podcast now. Signing off.
So, that's my idea. When you come to my house, I want you to feel like it's vacation. You're already rolling up and you're ready for it, right? Like
I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt for this episode, just so you know. Like and it's unbuttoned. I'm wearing nothing underneath it, so like my hairy chest is hanging out.
Yeah, balls are flapping in the grass skirt in the wind.
Well, okay. It's your fantasy house episode. My balls are flapping in the grass skirt in the wind.
You can have a leather loin, I guess, whatever you want to, whatever's more comfortable for you.
No, dude, I want
this as soon as you get off the ship, right? Like
if you're wearing it, I'm wearing it. We're both free balling for your episode, dude.
Perfect.
So is that how I came to your fantasy house? I took a boat there, so I'm getting off the ship.
I think the pirate ship is a great idea.
Okay.
Want to sail the seas to my house on a pirate ship?
Sounds fucking awesome.
But you're the captain. Everybody's the captain on it. So, you tell the other guys, hey, this is where we're going, even though you're on a track like in Disneyland and you're going to my house.
I love that, though. It's safe, right? We're not getting shipwrecked. We're on a track.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the storm come. It ain't doing shit to us. We're on a fucking track all the way there.
That's it. And, the boat band's playing, but pirate songs, like not the boat lounge rock stuff, just old-timey pirate tunes. So... everybody's getting in the spirit.
Yo ho, to Munoz Island we go.
Yeah. And then we have, people spinning around chasing the ladies, like out of the ride.
Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're riding the ride, but just on the way to the island.
Oh, it's magical.
Already, yeah. Total entertainment.
Well, let's go to the kitchen. What's your kitchen like?
Are we going to the kitchen already? Man, I always thought, we want this crazy kitchen, you want to do all this cooking, but I think I'm just going to have a mall food court in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Everybody's already there on standby. You have all the different types of cuisine you could totally want any minute.
Dude.
Way to do it, man.
What are we going to eat then? What are we eating? Are we getting some samples from Panda Express and...
I'm feeling Genghis Khan today. So
Genghis Khan, all right.
Is that, yeah. Where they get the stir-fried noodles on the hot right there. So that's what we're dining in for lunch today.
Sounds great, dude. I love it.
It's always hard because you never know what you want to eat, right?
If you have that food court.
You can just you.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Hot dog on a stick. All right. Or what's the other one? Sbarro's, isn't that another?
Sbarro's, Wetzel's Pretzels. Yeah, dude.
One. Ooh, for breakfast.
Which one?
Cinnabon.
Oh, yeah, dude.
There you go.
Oh, man. I haven't had a Cinnabon in so long.
When's the last time you went to a mall even, right?
Oh, before the Pandy, dude. Pre-Pandy, for sure.
But yeah, that's our kitchen. So, you have people that come up and clean up after you. You don't have to clean dishes.
You have mall staff in your fantasy house in Hawaii?
Yeah.
That's great. Let's go to, what's the next room? The bathroom?
Bathrooms are a big one, right? Like,
yeah.
We love bathrooms. I like private bathrooms, though. Like,
yeah.
Everybody seems to have that consensus, like, you don't want everybody to hear you taking a shit.
Yeah, who wants that? It's
right?
Like a Seinfeld episode. Like, nobody wants that. I need it to be loud and soundproof.
Right. So you have basically you walk into the bathroom and you have people just kind of hanging out. Like, what is it? The
restroom attendants?
Yeah. So he actually is a DJ and he's going to put on whatever music you want to put on before you go to take
to block the sound.
Right?
Oh, dude, Chemical Brothers, all the way up. Turn the bass up, quick.
He starts to warm your seat because he's got a little switch for you.
Yeah.
In there, and you're set, man. It's just like you're checking your phone, probably just bullshitting on your email.
That's where I return my emails.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, got to be efficient with your time, Gabe.
Yeah, it's a total comfort experience, and you're still getting shit done. So I think that's really helpful.
That's a really good motto for the door of the bathroom too. Getting shit done.
Getting
no pun intended.
Right? Please be seated. But yeah, you're experiencing. I don't know. Have you ever? Have you ever tried a bidet?
Oh yeah. My buddy Adam's parents had it. They're very European. They had a bidet growing up. I drank from it all the time.
Everybody talks about, having one of those, but I don't drink.
I was just joking. Little water fountain next to the toilet. What's going on here?
So yeah, I hear that it is extra good out of the bidet. But yeah, maybe have one of those fancy things. I've never actually had one, but if you like it, it's there for if you want.
Thank you. Yeah, dude. Why not just have a horse bath real quick that you don't even? Yeah, of course. I'll take it.
That's I think it's more whatever your personal comfort is, right? The no fear of being shamed for a little extra gas and sound. You don't have to worry about that. No one's judging. You're taking care of your emails. You're working. A 20-minute shit is not unheard of, and you're okay. So.
Oh, I'm hanging out in there for a half an hour, 40 minutes, like no problem. What's it look like in there? What's like the lighting and the decoration? Like what's the theme?
That's a good question. Candlelit. It's pretty. Set the ambience. But when you go into your little door, I mean, you could have strobe lights. You could have the disco ball come down.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's have that in there.
Right? I mean, if you want it, it's there. That's your room for however long you want. So, but yeah, you don't want to spend all day in there. Just enough. Come out, and then you're probably going to the living room, right? You want to go lounge after a nice big turd.
Yeah. What's the living room like?
After eating the gang-on in the food court there. So, yeah. Dude, living room goes right down to the ocean. We're having like an aquarium there. So all the local wildlife we're seeing out there is going to be right in my living room. Just chilling, watching that.
Like a glass, like the ocean comes up to a glass wall in your living room?
The whole living room is just one big like aquarium.
Oh, that's awesome.
With that, the chill space, I guess you could say.
Are we just sitting on a couch in front of this giant fish tank, basically, or a giant wall of fish tank?
Couch, how about a giant beanbag?
Yeah.
Everybody just go lay down. If you want to put your feet up, we might have a small ottoman in the center there. Just relax. Well, the food court will bring you, some refreshments.
Oh yeah. French fries and ranch while I watch the manatees.
Well, you don't watch much TV. It's hard for me to sit down and watch shows and get into it too. So
yeah,
I think just having a place to conversate, relax,
totally.
Maybe listen to music. Maybe there you go, more live bands. How about
what are they playing? What band is playing at your fantasy house right now?
Ooh, that's a good one. We should have some sort of like new age. No, like some like lo-fi hip hop beats. DJ.
Who? I want to know. You can have the band. It's your fantasy house. The band itself can be there. You don't even need a DJ, unless the DJ is
the DJ. He's a local guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from the Villages too. So
what's his name?
Ramon? There we go.
Ramon.
DJ Ramon.
Sounds great.
DJ Razor Ramon, like the wrestler, right?
Dude.
Tropical, kind of greasy.
Yeah.
Got some jewelry on. He's very stylish.
Sounds great. What's the next room you're going to take us to?
Man, so if you're done chilling, I imagine we'd probably have to go. Well, you have to get a tour of the master bedroom, right?
Okay. Master bedroom.
Master bedroom. Master bedroom's just like a little tiki lanai. Like you're sleeping outside among like trees. Like you basically are in a tree house almost, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got the view. Like you got just no furniture, just a bed, maybe like one of those big round beds that everybody, in movies or whatever. That sounds pretty comfy, right?
That sounds fun. Let's do that. It's unique too.
Is it unique?
Yeah, I mean, you in the movies, that's it. So that's cool.
Well, maybe what if it was like hovering? Like it didn't have like a bedpost or like a frame. It just kind of hovered there, right? So like it kind of floated around the room.
Like a Japanese bullet train, like it's on a magnet kind of thing. It just kind of floats.
Yeah. That sounds great, right? So right, you get some motion in the ocean. Like it's still good. You're still rocking with it. It's still moving with your momentum. So it's functionable. It's comfy. You get some good 8 hours, 9 hours of sleep on there.
Oh, I thought you said 9 hours of motion in the ocean. I was like, man, your dick is really desensitized.
Yeah, that is. I know, man. I'm in my late 30s now, dude. That is not happening. But
8 hours.
Yeah.
your partner's like, you gonna come yet? Because I have a full shift.
Yeah, right.
I didn't even have a lunch break.
But yeah, nothing too fancy, man. I can't,
Oh, the guy who just has a floating bed. Nothing too fancy, though.
But that's it. That's all that's in the room. You get the view and then the bed.
That's great. No,
two things in there.
I like that. That minimalist thing makes you just like not overwhelm yourself with too much stuff to take care of. Also, the indecisiveness of should I sit over there? What can I do in here? It's like you chill on your floating bed or look at the view.
That's it.
It's actually very relaxing.
Yeah.
Too many options is bad for us. That's great.
So then after there, obviously, is you got to have an art studio. Definitely have to have a place for making all sorts of art. Paintings, you can tattoo there. You can build sculptures. We got to, what is it? The bronze.
If we're filming Fantasy House right now, we're not sculpting or painting. You're giving me a tattoo.
Yeah.
While we're on the show, I'm sitting down. We'll tattoo each other. What are we doing?
Ooh, what are we gonna do? You know what? We should try to. I could do my version of what your logo is. We should just get a fantasy logo tattoo. Fantasy house tattoo.
Would it be like, because you used to do traditional tattoos so solid? Would it be like that? Because I've never seen that logo in a traditional.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. How big are you going to do it? We starting back pieces on each other
on the show. I think you like if we were like live in person. I think I would get like something like.
Well, it's never time didn't exist.
Oh shit! Okay, I guess I'll get a Fantasy House back piece. That's awesome.
You got to do mine too, right?
Yeah, dude. Well, time doesn't exist, so like I'll work my strength back up for holding my machines again.
Right.
It's trying to get my hand to stretch skin again. Yeah. Oh, fuck.
That actually, if you are, that would be a fun one for you to do. Come out of retirement. Oh, my friend wants my logo. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just dust these off real quick.
Yeah, dude. How's this go again? Hey, what goes here? I feel like I'm missing something.
Oh yeah, I need a machine.
Yeah, or holding the machine like the needle's flopping around. Like, oh yeah, rubber band. All the shit that you forget. Dude, so much fun. I actually love that. Just visualizing right now, and it's something I love so much about this show is like imaginary meals and imagining all this stuff together, and just the idea of like sitting down with a tattoo machine with you. It just sounds fucking awesome, like a little session.
Well, I think it was hard to think about. Okay, what do I really want in my house? Because I'm such such a minimalist. But I think the studio is really where the magic happens, per se, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like even in this small little space, like just to be able to do all those things and have that creative outlet, like that's going to be the place. Like this is where people want to come and do fun shit, right? Even though the island's cool, there's plenty of shit to do, but come make something. Come do something fun. Get a tattoo your friends.
Dude, I love it. Yeah. I love it. Oh, it's so awesome.
But that's like, I think where I want to have everybody kind of just experience. If you're going to come to the island, you got to partake in the studio a little bit. So you're taking a souvenir home, or you're giving somebody one to go home with, right? That's
so rad. What is there? Are there any other rooms? Is that where we're ending? Because that just seems so freaking cool.
No, there was a couple other ones, but I think that it was just a bunch of filler. I thought I was not going to have enough time or things to talk about while we were here. So,
oh no, No, dude, this is so rad. What are the other rooms? Are they worth mentioning, or if you don't
No.
want to, don't feel uncomfortable. Okay.
No, they definitely were not worth mentioning.
Try me. I want to hear what they are.
There was the DMT room.
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, it's not worth mentioning?
Well,
That's so interesting.
not everybody's into that kind of thing. That's okay.
That's so cool. I personally have never tried it, and I don't know if it's past.
People haven't tried it.
Huh?
They haven't tried it. Maybe they would go to the room. You don't actually have to do the DMT, like in the room. You just step into the room and you're already magically on DMT, right? Like
that's how I think you could get me to do it. Is you could just push me into a room real quick and close the door and be like, "I'm in it. Okay, here goes."
Here it is. All right.
Not enough time for me to think about it and go, I don't know if I want to do this.
And then it's too late. And then you're aching to go back again. Yeah, you're right. Right.
What does it look like? Is it just like a regular room, but then once you're in it, you're in it?
How do I can only describe it as once you're on DMT and you start seeing these lights and you realize you're just in a different dimension. It's basically like stepping into a different dimension.
Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You automatically know you're there. It's just like stepping into another realm.
So when you did it change your perspective on like when you came back to this reality of like, whoa, like something is going on that is unexplainable? Or were you just like, yeah, I just got really high and my brain just like made up some stuff?
I think
does that make sense, that question?
Yeah. So then you go, well, I would consider myself a spiritual person, right? I do believe in something beyond that. What we have here in this reality now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, even I think doing that, it's a real, like you have to confront, that's a reality you think you believe in. And if you're experiencing that, you go, did that happen?
Yeah.
What the hell was that about? You know, like,
yeah,
you full only know like you're not here, but you are here. I don't know. It's a trip, man, because you can be fully immersed into the outer realms of the universe and like kind of peek your eye open. You're like, okay, but I'm still sitting on my couch. It's cool.
So weird.
Yeah, it's wild. But you just get into that, and there's no other way to describe it. And that's kind of why I threw the room out, because I'm like, well, unless you've done it, I don't know really how to describe it.
But I think that in itself is interesting enough, because I think a lot of us, at least if we try hard enough and relax and kind of just imagine, like they call it, state specific. Like you really can't explain what you went through mentally,
right,
or physically, whatever you want to call it, in that experience. For those that haven't done it, but
I would want you to experience that. I would want you to feel all those positive feelings and experiences I took away from it. You know what I mean? So it's like, basically I would want you to walk away with that. And that's why I didn't think the room, I couldn't really describe it. So that's why
it's great. It's so funny. That's why I was like, you need to at least say it. I need to know what this room is. Cause that's, to me, is like such a trip. And that's just, it's very telling that when you would say like, you want people to experience that. I was like, oh, like you learned or grew or got some sort of benefit from it. Something.
Yeah, I was
return on investment from it, and you're like, I want others to enjoy that. I mean, to me, that's like a cool.
I was super scared to go in that room at first. I was like, I don't know.
I mean, that's how I am, dude. I've had some psychedelic experiences that are just like, I don't necessarily like the intensity of like finding out like everything's not as you thought it was. Is like that's a harsh thing to find out for some of us, because like,
right?
I think we all bank on reality and like certain things that we consider to be reality to stay comfortable. And maintain composure as a biological human that's sane. And so finding out like, hey, like you might not even understand like the tip of the iceberg of what existence is, or what the whole thing is that you're involved in being a living being right now. And for some people, it could be a relief, like for spiritual seeking people, it could be a relief like, hey, like they're using psilocybin now for like post-traumatic stress disorder and people that are terminal. And it's a wonderful thing. I'm glad they're doing that. And for that person, it might be like, hey, like, it's not just all this life and that's okay. But for some people, like even as myself, like having my world shifted the way it has from some psychedelics before has been like, it's like a lot of homework that it leaves me with.
Yeah.
Like I don't come back like, oh, that was really fun. Well, let's get to it. I'm like, what the fuck was all that about? And does the universe acknowledge that it doesn't know what it is because it's tripping me out that it doesn't understand itself. Am I it? Is it me? And then it's like, oh no, I ain't going back to ask those questions again. That shit was scary as fuck. Huh?
Yeah. The post-processing.
Oh, the post-processing is so intense for me. And like, I've had times where I was like, man, I had to work through some stuff that's still even talking about it now. I'm like, I don't even know. It's a lot, man. And it is hard to explain to people that haven't done those things or that are not in those mindsets to be like, no, and it's not like TV, like how the media represents psychedelia or psychedelic, like,
right.
Like it's colors and stuff that's weird and that morphs. And you're like, yeah, that's like visuals. That's about 3%, maybe 1% of like what psychedelic experiences really are. Like, it's like a different thing than just like what things look like, sound like sensory stuff. It's like,
yeah,
it's so much more weird than that I can't even explain it. And
but you're forced to when you're on those. You're like, okay, well, I'm going along for this ride, but you know, you have a choice. You can freak out about it, or you can just say, wow, that was some really crazy shit. Let me try to understand that.
Yeah, I think you're right. You can really don't, and I think that goes for a lot of things in life. You can freak out about it, or you can say, it is what it is. I'm experiencing this, or this is like, don't fight truth, or at least even if you can't prove something's truth, don't fight like the hunt for truth or the exposure to more mystery. If that even makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah, I get. You know what? That's a good way to put it. Exposure to more mystery, because you're not answering questions, or you're not getting like any solid answers from the experience, right?
No, not me. I mean, to me, the farther you go down the rabbit hole, the more questions it opens up, and I just see the existence itself as a giant like question mark. Like there's either the question mark, and that's existence, and then there's nothingness, which doesn't exist. So there literally is just a question mark, and you can meet whatever God you worship tomorrow, and if you're someone like myself, you'd be like, how do I know that was the thing that I thought that is God a personified being? I mean, is it more complicated than that? Is it more simple than that? Is it anything? Is this a reality? Like, I mean, literally, it's just question after question. And some of us, like myself, will be like, I'll never be satisfied with any other answer besides the mystery will only continue to be mysteries. And you're like,
maybe, you know what? Maybe that's a good idea. Send people out of the fantasy island with the DMT room. Like they had a good time. They made some little ceramics that they painted. They're super stoked to take them home. Then they go in the DMT room and they just come out kind of questioning their experience, right? They're going, wow, did all that really happen on this island, right? Like,
yeah, on this island of reality. Dude, so beautiful. Thanks for taking us there, man. So cool.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me use my little imagination to what my humble abode of an island would be. With workers.
Dude, it was a pleasure. It was all mine, really, honestly. So cool. Where do you want people to find you?
You could come down to Classic Tattoo on Sundays or Tuesdays right now. And I work in Encinitas on Saturdays. You can stop by the shop there as well. So,
what's Encinitas' shop name?
The shop is called 454 Tattoo in Encinitas.
So they can stop by Classic in Fullerton
Tuesdays and Sundays, and then 454 Tattoo on Saturdays.
454 Tattoo on Saturdays. Hell yeah, dude. Super rad.
Yeah, other than that, dude, just school and work. That's it, man. I don't get a whole lot of time, so I'm glad we got to do this. Thank you. I'm so grateful that you made time to do this. Let us be a # blessed guest. Yeah. In your badass fantasy house, man. Your fantasy island. So great. That is it. So,
guys, if this is your first time listening, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, give us a review, whatever you think we deserve. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, whatever you think we deserve. Give us a review, please. And if you're a longtime listener and you've never shared this episode or shared this show, hit the share button, give us a review, help us out in any way that you can, and just be silly and have fun. And I hope you had a really good time on this journey. Ask your family, ask your mom or your dad or your lover. Be like, hey, what's your fantasy house? And if they're like, what are you talking about? Just explain to them the premise of this show, and then do your own little episode with them and get to know them better. It's a really fun experience. All right, love you guys. Mwah.